The red ball drills aren't dependent on our subject matter expertise. They're dependent on the subject matter expertise of the participants. So we were running a red ball drill at a Major League Baseball park, and it was game day, and this was a couple hours before the game would begin. According to their policies, at any vehicle entrance, they're required to have a canine handler or a dog handler, a bomb-sniffing dog, on game day. So we decided to take the ball out to the loading dock in the back of the ballpark. This is a few hours before the game, and pull the ball on the security guard at the loading dock. So we approached the security guard, the role player pulled the ball. They all got the memo saying that if a red ball comes out, that you're about to have a conversation about a crisis event. And I said, here's your scenario. You're standing here, a large delivery truck comes in, and as the dog handler is circling the truck, the dog indicates positively. Go. And he goes, oh, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know either. What do you think you should do? And he goes, I think I got to get out of here. I'm like, I'm not going to argue that point. Where are you going? He goes, well, I probably shouldn't use my radio within like 50 feet of the truck. And I'm like, all right, that's a good point. So where are you going? He goes, I'm going to head that way, get on my radio and call it in. I go, okay. And then what? He goes, I don't know. I guess I would wait for them to tell me where to go, maybe go back to the command center. And he goes, wait. I go, what? He goes, I've got to stop traffic because a lot of cars will be circling the facility. And I'm like, well, that makes sense to me. So we spent 20 minutes talking about the dynamics of stopping traffic if there's a positive indication from the dog. Where they had no policy, now we're developing policy for that security guard, for that post. So now we took the ball to the dog handler and pulled the ball on the dog handler, and he smiled. He goes, oh, the red ball. I was wondering if I was going to see that today. And I said, well, here's your scenario. Large delivery truck comes in. While the security guard's checking the paperwork, your dog indicates positive. And not just a cooler pack, but the real deal. Go. And he goes, honestly? I go, yeah, please. He goes, I'm ripping the driver out of the truck. I'm like, you're ripping him out of the truck? Is that policy? And he goes, well, technically, we're a privately contracted company. So all policy has to come from the client, and I've never seen any rules of engagement. I'm like, you've never seen the policy of what to do if your dog indicates positively? He goes, no. And I said, well, why are you ripping the guy out of the truck? And he goes, because in Fallujah, when we were working there, that's what we did. I go, but you're not armed, and this isn't Fallujah. Is that still the best way to go? And he goes, honestly, now that we're talking about it, that's the red ball drills. Now that we're talking about it, no, that's not what I do now. I'm like, so tell me what you think you should do. He goes, honestly, I got to get out of here. He goes, I'm leaving. I'm probably going to turn the first corner, call my supervisor and see if they want me repositioned or checking for secondaries. So it's going to be up to them. So we go in the command center, following the path of communication, which is what the red ball drills can do. And we pull the ball on the security officer, who's the dispatcher in the command center for the ballpark. And we say, you get a call from the loading dock, security officer saying, oh my gosh, the dog just indicated positively. Go. And she said, oh, I'm going to call my supervisor. I said, okay, let's call your supervisor. Why are there no rules of engagement for the canine company? And he goes, I'm so glad we're doing this now during a red ball drill. He goes, I'll tell you why, because policy came down from Major League Baseball and we hired a canine company and put him in place. We never had the conversation about rules of engagement. And so sitting there with the security director, we did and created the policy that they needed. So we spent 45 minutes talking about policy and developing policy that was relevant to this particular baseball park. And at the end of it, he goes, oh, this is why I'm glad we've run the red ball drills, this kind of conversation. And now we had policy that was culturally relevant to that ballpark, starting from the guard all the way up to the security director. That's why the red ball drills are a critical part of running live exercises and engaging people where they're working so that we can catch variables that you might not catch at a normal tabletop exercise.